Bist du an? Okay. Ja, bist du an?
Ja, achso, bin ich an?
Bist du, ja.
Okay. Yes, hello, thank you for having us. So we are very happy to present our work together here, and also just for the start of your workshop to give some input. My name is Annekathrin Bake. As was said, I am an architect. I also studied urban future at the University of Applied Sciences in Potsdam, and wrote a thesis about future housing consumption. That I finished that last year, and since March this year I am working for the Gröninger Hof Genossenschaft, which is a cooperative that is currently developing the change from existing parking garage into a housing project. I will tell you about that more later. This is our site. This is a parking garage in the Neue Gröninger Straße. You will see it tomorrow on your tour. And these people are more or less the founding members of the cooperative. By now we are many more. We are like 400 people. This is me on on top of the garage, and you can see two of our main topics, or maybe also main problems. It's we have a lot of concrete, which is a problem, and we are situated in the middle of the Altstadt, which is the Hamburg Old Town, which is basically the very heart of Hamburg, where the city was founded. But it is let's say, difficult neighborhood. There's not a lot of people living there. It's not very lively. There's some room for improvement. It's growing slowly, but now we introduce Caroline Nachtigall.
Yeah. My name is Caroline Nachtigall-Marten, and I'm architect and just classic. I'm working as an architect for a long time now. I'm part of the Duplex team since 2 years. So I just want to introduce briefly, I don't know if you know this office. Duplex Architekten is originally from Zurich, from Switzerland, and there where it starts. And 10 years ago, we started to have an office in Hamburg and in Düsseldorf. So we just celebrated our 10th birthday in July. And we also have, since a couple of years, a little office in Paris. So we have like 4 offices, we have 55 employees, and for us what is very interesting is always to look what the situation needs, and we like a lot developing new ideas, especially for housing. And we are, like here you see, maybe you know Dan Schürch and Anne Kessler, which are the foundators of the office, also teaching and having a lot of lectures. And we have a nice team, and we are always open to share things. And so I'm very happy also to be here today and to share one project with you. Okay, so you tell a little bit about the Genossenschaft, the cooperative.
Yeah, back to the cooperative. We are about 400 people now, but only about 100 of those people will actually be moving into the house once it's finished, because there are really a lot of people in Hamburg that feel that something has to be done about the development of urban neighborhoods. And we have the unique situation that a lot of professionals are actually part of the cooperative and donating their time and their experience. We have architects, we have project developers, we have people who know a lot of finance, we have politicians, we have a lot of people that just contribute. So I'm one of the very few people who's actually paid doing what they do, and most of the others are volunteers. And we are going to create subsidized housing, 100% subsidized housing, and also a few spaces for offices or other kind of businesses. And by converting this parking structure, we hope to be a laboratory for location-based innovative project design and real estate development. And we have a few guidelines let's say. That is, we want to continue building the city. We think it's not an option to just stop building, even if it might seem so sometimes. But we want to work with grey energy and a lot of timber construction. We believe in participation, participation can be a catalyst for neighborhood development. We try to, oh no, that was too early. We try to develop like an identity, like the people in the house, that they can live and work in the same space and really get to own the same space, like make it their own. And we have a solidarity-based financing model, which is also including like a lot of non-profit organizations and providers that kind of joined us. No, sorry, this way. All of this is situated in the old part of Hamburg. This is the inner city basically, and we are down now. How do I do this? There. We are down here. This is the Katharinenkirche, and that red rectangle, this is our plot. There's where the parking garage is right now. And as you can see, it's it's close to the harbor, and it's very, very much in the center. But it's really not a very communicative space. It feels kind of sleepy. People do not really go there because they don't have many reasons to go there. Like a lot of Hamburg inhabitants, they kind of don't think about the area at all. And we believe this can be bettered. We want to enliven the neighborhood. And also, so my job is actually, I'm called project manager of a project that's called More Urban Quality of Life in Hamburg's Old Town, which is a collaboration of the Gröninger Hof and the Paritätische Wohlfahrtsverband, which is a social organization in Hamburg, and it's funded by the city. So actually the city feels the need that something has to be done. This is a cooperative again. We really like the structure that is existing, but still we want to change it. And a little bit about how we got where we are now. It started in 2017. It feels like ages ago, but if you know a little bit about project development, you know it's not that long actually. And it all started with some people really who thought or who had the feeling that something has to be done. There was an initiative called Altstadt für alle, which means Old Town for everybody. It was really just a bunch of individual people who came together and thought, okay, we want to change how we live in this part of town. And there was no thought about creating a building or building anything at first. It was really just like a very loose brainstorm of what could be better, what kind of future do we want. And they did a lot of stuff. They did workshops, they did street festivals, they temporarily closed roads for traffic to just kind of find out what it feels like if there's no cars and stuff like that. And then in 2019, two things happened. The first thing was that the city of Hamburg, they decided to get rid of this old parking structure because this was really not very much, there was a lot of maintenance to do. It wasn't used very much because we do have a lot of parking structures. And they decided to give it to somebody, but not to sell to the highest bidder, but to make a kind of competition where you could applicate with the concept, and like the group with the best ideas would get this building. And so a few people from this initiative, they said, okay, this is our window of opportunity, now we have to act. And they really got together at somebody's kitchen table and founded a cooperative and wrote a brief about what they want to do, and they actually were awarded this building. And then in 2020 we had the, in German, Anhandgabe, which means like the city and the cooperative agreed that we can use the space now while like the final contracts are being prepared. And then in the year after that, the cooperative were actually formally, legally registered. Takes a while in Germany. It's like some things are a bit bureaucratic, but that enabled us to do an actual architectural competition. We had some people donating money, so we could fund a competition, and then Duplex Architects won that in 2021. Caroline will tell you more about that. Yeah, and ever since that, we are developing the building, but also we are acquiring new partners. We have like the Studierendenwerk, which houses students. We have a youth organization. We have different social partners who are joining us to also fund for their clients. We are doing a long, very, very long participation process with the neighbors around us. And we, of course, we are also building the community of the people who will move into this house, who are actually by now they know each other, but they all came to this cooperative not knowing each other. Yeah, that's our motto. It says, come and join us. We want to change the city. And that's really the goal. I mean, I really, really like this project, but we believe this initiative can be much more than just like one house, one project. We really think this could be the first step or the model of a change of typology, where we rethink, we reuse infrastructure, especially infrastructure for cars and streets. We work with the community. We really think this cooperative can be a developer and a catalyst for neighborhood development. And basically, we think this could be a tiny puzzle of a paradigm shift. And we get a lot of attention. We get really a lot of media attention, which is partly due to the fact that we have some journalists in our team who do a very good job. But also, I think this kind of strikes a nerve. I think a lot of people are looking for different approaches and answers, and this could be just one way of doing things that really, get a lot of interest right now. And we had the big step last month of submitting our building application. So now we wait for green light to go on. But all about that can Caroline tell you.
Okay. Yeah, so City of Hamburg. There's no one coming from Hamburg. Is there any? Ein Hamburger. Okay. So I don't know if you already had time to visit the city, but like Anne showed, we are really in the middle of the historic center of Hamburg, which was a very livable place before World War II and then changed, but I will show you this later. Well, right now. Yeah, Hamburg, you see in the 1930s. Actually, it's a very nice picture we found, because here you have our parking garage, which was actually a housing before. So as we found this picture, we were very happy, because we thought, look, it's like, redoing something that also was there before, you know. And you see how it was built. Then came the horrible World War II, which destroyed really a lot of the buildings in Hamburg. It was in 1943, the Operation Gomorrah, which really make a big fire in Hamburg. So everything was destroyed in the center. And then after World War II, the people rebuilt the city with another focus, with the focus on traffic, on big streets. The personal car got more and more important. So this street we have now, the Ost-West-Straße, which you will see tomorrow, it's really big. It's not a highway, but it feels like a highway. And so here you see there's the parking garage. You see a piece of the parking garage. So we really had this change, you know, in in the city of Hamburg. And now we go back and we say, no, we do not want to have so many cars. We have too many cars now. We have the problem, too many cars in the city. It's not nice walking there. Like now the city is trying to make a change, and so the project really is also in this idea, and the things that it's a parking garage we want to change. Of course, it's very symbolic also for the change. Here is a development plan from 1955, where you can see all the parking garage which were planned actually a lot, and realized in yellow. You see the one who were realized. So in the end, not as much as. But this plan shows how much the focus was on you come with a car in the city and you have your own parking space, and this was like very important. I mean, it's still important, but people are changing, and taking the bike and taking the train and everything, and like taking public transport is something which gets more and more important now. Okay, so again, a little map. Here is the parking garage. So now I'll show you just some pictures so you get an idea. It's 55 meters long and 37 meters wide, which is huge. It's a really huge concrete block. We inherited, sort of say, 550 parking spaces like were there. It closed in 2019, I think, because it wasn't rentable anymore, and the structure also was kind of that they said, okay, we better close it. So now it's closed, it's empty. Yeah, this is the view from the street. It's 2,040 square meters big, so you have an idea. This is the ground floor. Footprint. Yeah, the footprint. Yeah, the footprint of the building. Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the ground floor, like it is now. We have this. I'm not really sure if it's a Kassettendecke, how you say it in English. Precast. Yeah. So it's very typical for the 60s. They built very thin. They didn't have a lot of money after World War II. Germany wasn't rich, so the ceiling, it's only 8 centimeters, so it's very. It's not a lot concrete. So we like it a lot. It's very nice. So we started in the competition working with this. In the competition, the Gröninger Hof said, try to keep as much concrete as you can, or try to have a concept which keeps the structure. Not everything, of course, it's not possible, but maybe a part of it. And it was also said, we still don't know how the concrete is really going, because there were some analysis, but just like more superficial analysis, which said, okay, it could be possible, but the deeper analysis of the concrete came a little bit later. So we started to work really with the structure. This is the roof, very nice, you will see tomorrow, very nice view over Hamburg. So this is the program we got. To make it not too long, what the Gröninger Hof wanted is having housing, cheap housing, like housing for everyone. No, not luxury apartments, but housing for everyone. So they want a mixture of people. They want like people with normal income, and they want also people who normally have really problems to get an apartment in a city. So there has to be this mixture. Then they wanted also common spaces, so that the people can come together, because all the people who will live there are in the Genossenschaft, in the cooperative. Yeah, you have to get in the cooperative to be able to get an apartment, and this apartment is not yours. You just like in a membership, and then you rent an apartment, but it's not yours. But you always have the right to have an apartment. So it works like this. Yeah. So this is what we used for the competition, which is a very nice, it shows what we wanted to do, like from parking space to park plus space, so to transform the existing structure and do really something new with it. So we analyzed the structure, we saw what could we do, or what can we do. This is, we also looked at these old plans, which was very interesting. The garage was built in 1963. So we analyzed the old structure. And then the idea was just to like cut, like in red, we cut out this concrete, like we take it away. So we get this courtyard and we build, like we rebuild this in timber construction, in wood, timber you say, no, I think. Yes. Okay, so this is basically the idea. And by that time we didn't know if it would work, so we thought, okay, if it doesn't work, what we can do is just like, if, for example, it's not possible to keep all these levels, then we just go down with the new building. Yeah.
What is the height of?
275 meters.
Now.
In total, yeah. Yeah, we had these problems with the height, and yeah. It was a problem, of course. Yeah. But it was just okay, and I think but it was a Yeah, we had some flat apartments in the beginning, but the story goes on. It's not finished. So this is a model. So you see, like these, this huge, like concrete block, like which, like we made this courtyard to make it livable, because it's not possible with the light. No, we still have some problems with the light, of course. I mean, it's It's back to back here. This is the Asia house. This is a very nice Asia house, which was built in 1910, which is, and this, all the block is, how do you say Denkmalschutz? Listed. It's listed. The whole block is listed. The church, of course, is listed. So we like embraced by listed buildings, which are listed means that they are very old, very nice. So the government says, okay, you're not allowed to destroy this. You have to keep it like it is. Yeah, like. So yeah. So the parking garage was not listed. Okay, so then the story goes on. We started the project. We started projecting everything, planning everything, and then there was the further analysis, as you see here. And the problem is that the salt, which was in Germany, when in winter it snows, and they put salt on the street so that the freeze goes away, and the cars take the salt with their wheels. They take it onto the parking garage, and the concrete didn't have really protection, so the salt goes into the concrete, and what happens then this chloride, which like have a very high corrosion on the steel. So we knew this before, but the problem was that it was very, very bad. It was a lot of chloride. Like we didn't expect so much. So in the end, like I told you before, we had this really thin ceilings, so there wasn't really like mass to restore it. Yeah, because we wanted to restore it, but in the end, and that was the result of all this, we had to change the project because we couldn't keep the structure. So what we can learn is that it's very interesting and always good, I think, to see the structure and to see what can we do with it. And the project would never have been like it is now if we have said in the beginning, okay, we just take everything away and we make a new building. It wouldn't have been this project, because this project still has a lot of the structure. And you can see this here. It's very interesting. We have like here's the ground floor, and yeah, this is like this now the project like it is, and we have the building like the parking building, which is like right now it's like the same height more or less. It's about 22 meters high, and the foundations, which are still existing and which we will reuse, are 20 meters long. So you have almost the whole building again in the ground, which is amazing because we are in the water. No, we need to because it's not, we do not have a good, yeah. Okay, so in the end, we still save 2,000 cubic meters of concrete, which is a lot. We save the basement here. We save all the structures. I mean, it's not, everything is not written here because this is very abstract. You see just the concrete and then the timber construction with the new floors. So yeah, so in the end, we lost a lot, but we didn't lose all. We still saved a lot, and yeah, we're part of, I don't know if you know Circuit, you can look it up in the internet, it's very interesting. They do like research about circular building, and we had the luck that we were part of this project. They took us to work with us, and they said, okay, we do 2 scenarios. The first one is business as usual. We just take the whole building, the whole garage away, and we make everything new. And the second scenario is what we are doing, is just we keep all the foundations, we keep this ground floor, a part of the ground floor, or of the basement, I say, and they just compare it. And so they compare it, you know, with everything. They calculated it, and in the end, we had 42 of we saved 42 CO2. So it's a lot. So it's even if you do not can keep the whole building, you can do a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maisonette? Yeah, we have Maisonette Wohnung.
Yeah, but also with the existing part.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. Because of the height, you mean. Yes, we have Maisonette, but not in the part.
Who was thinking about it in the time project?
Yes. No, it was also an option. Because of the height, you mean, no? Yeah, it was an option, yeah. Okay, so this is the building like it is now. But it's the half. You know, we cut it in half, so we can. You see, like this is we have like 2 buildings. We have the front building and the back building. We call it A and B, and yeah, it's like. What is very important is the circulation in the project. We have this courtyard which is open, and we have Laubengänge. Access balconies. I don't know if you know this term, if you use this term. Access balconies are balconies which can be balconies, but which also you go into your apartment like from this balcony. You don't have an inner staircase. The staircase is outside. We have 2 staircases, like one in the south, one in the north. So it's open, so you're outside. And then you are outside on the balcony, and then you go into your apartment. So this is like the concept from the building. And also here you see, this is the Asia House, which is right next to us, which is very nice with this patio also. And yeah, there's references for this idea to have like also this common space. We have a lot of, what is special with the project is not just housing, it's not just apartments. It's very important, Anne told you, we have this ground floor which is very public. We do not want to just do a normal housing. It has to be a building who also serves the people living around, no? We have a cafe, we have a cafe here, we have some working spaces, then we have here working spaces you can rent, like co-working spaces, for example, and then the second floor, then it gets more and more private. So you start very public in the ground floor, and then you go up, and then second floor up, it's private, and you have people having their apartment there. You have a question? It's here. It's bigger than here because of the light. I think it's like 15 meters, something like this. Yeah. Yeah, and the lowest part is like 8 meters. We have regulations in Germany for everything. Yeah, and we have this with this light problem, of course, because we made light studies. We had a special office who made light studies for us, and everything is fine here because you have the sun coming from this side, from the street. So this is not a problem. This is okay, but here it gets a little bit problematic. But we do not have living anymore. So it's okay. So it's just working. And then we have like these common spaces which have a lot of light. So it's possible to do it. Yeah. But we do not have, this is what was the reason why we put, of course, all the living up. And yeah. And we also have spaces which do not need so many lights. For example, we have like where you can put your stuff, you know, these cases, and yeah, so. Okay, so yeah, a lot of different things in the house, and a lot of different people taking part. What we did, like as architects, we worked together with the future inhabitants, and they were involved in the process. So they were called Echo-Räume. We had different themes, and we met 4 times, I think. Yeah, 4 times. So there you see the different things that happen in the house. And now, yeah, I show you we have different types of apartments. We have like very small apartments for 1 person, then for 2 persons, 3 persons. We have like these maisonette with the inner staircase. And what we also have with the special is we have like cluster. That means that you have your own room and you share the kitchen with 5 people. So it's like a Wohngemeinschaft, like you live now when you're a student, but for adults.
Of course.
Yeah. This now I show you some. So you see the floors. This is the ground floor. You have the street here. We have like this open space, which is very important for the Genossenschaft. They always wanted like an open space for the inhabitants from the community which lives there, and then you have always the split level. I didn't tell you before, but you know the parking garage is like constructed in split levels. It's very typical. So we kept this. So the warte mal, jetzt hat nochmal einen Schnitt. Yeah, here. You see, we're never on the same level. No, we have always these like 1.20 meters of, and this is also which I think will make this building very interesting, because it's something you will never plan. If you plan you would never do this. So it's a really an heritage of the garage. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then the first floor, which co-working spaces. It's not. Still not sure who will rent them, but like we made the floor as open as possible, so we can also change some walls and yeah, make it possible, like for the future people who will rent this. This is Maisonette. Yeah, different types of apartments. And this is the view. It's a picture we did like two months ago. It's very new. We didn't do it. Jonas Bloch did it. And so you see like this courtyard and the idea of, yeah, having this common places and this community and being able to use the spaces in different ways. This is the top roof. Here you see the church. So what is also very special for this project, this is really the nicest space, and if a developer would do this project, of course there would be nice penthouse apartments which are very expensive with this view, and the Genossenschaft said no, we want to keep this most beautiful place for the residents, so it's really a garden, and you see here are common spaces. So here is kitchen, like a little bit like you have in your room without working, and you can, yeah, do a little party here if you want. Or here's a room you can just take your laptop and work, and it's yeah, all for the community. So I just show you, because it's architecture, the facade quickly. We made color studies in the city. So what we basically thought is to give the outside shell something more like robust, like outside, and in the courtyard to make it more warm and to take the wood, the timber. So this is the outside. There you see section with balconies. So this will be the front facade from the street with here the entrance, Gröninger Hof. And then on the other side, on the courtyard, you have here, you see these access balconies. And then you see here the timber construction and the apartments. Yeah, in the end, yes. Yeah, when we were like, we adapted it like with 2 meters 40, which is the minimum in Hamburg. Yeah, I think we have a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we managed to, we're a little bit higher than the parking garage, but not very much, because we also had to keep the shape. We can't build too high. It's not allowed, no? So yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now later, hopefully, yeah. Again, the courtyard, the entrance, and what another important thing to mention is that these spaces, they cost money. So how can they be financed? So the idea is, and this is also very new, that when you rent an apartment, you pay 100% of the flat, but you give 7% to the community. So every apartment gives 7% of his space, and this space is put together, and so everyone is paying for this. So this is the concept, and it's quite new. It was the Genossenschaft was. Did a lot of work with the IFB in Hamburg, which is like Investitions- und Förderbank, and it was a very we managed to, or you managed to get this. So we are a pioneer project for this.
We call it hybrid spaces, and the problem is that with subsidized housing, everything is very much regulated. So if like the people who control everything. They look at one flat, they say this is too small because they don't see the 7% which is located in a different space in the building. And this doesn't sound like much, but to kind of get to agreement that we are allowed to do this, but still are subsidized housing, that is actually a step forward. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
we are done.
finished.
Yeah, we have almost finished.
Yeah.
We are happy to take questions. We want just to kind of finish with a few pictures because we hope to be building by next year. We'll see about that. But and the parking garage is closed. But it was very important to us to kind of use the space and be present at the space already because we want to kind of get to know the neighborhood, and also there will be about 190 people moving in, and that does not sound like a lot, but in this part of town it will be actually quite a large part of the population in the end. So it's kind of important to get to know each other and to collaborate, because we don't want to be like a gated community of people moving there and not having any contact to their surroundings. So what we do is there's a little workshop in the ground floor which we are allowed to use, and we use it for our own meetings and stuff. But also we say it's an open space for people who want to do something. So we say we don't take money and it has to be open for everybody. But if you kind of agree to that, you can do whatever you like within reason. So we have art installations, we have performances, we have like neighborhood cooking evenings, we have people doing artistry and co-working and urban sports. And this summer we had a little kind of makeshift exhibition to kind of show what we are doing, and there was, for 3 months, there was something called Hamburger Architektursommer, which is like an event every 3 years where people contribute to architectural themes within the town. So we had a lot of people coming and visiting and looking at what we are doing and talking to us, and also looking at the future roof terrace. And we believe that like an open space can really be something like a spark plug to urban development and also to community development, which I think needs to kind of go side by side, because otherwise it's not working. That's from us, but if you have questions.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much for the insights, especially also how to push something forward, which is trying to achieve something that is not normal within the regulations and development ideas so far. Are there any further questions in benefit of the recording? It would be great to use the microphone.
A question about the just working? Okay. Did you keep the number of stores or from the parking garage?
We keep we keep them. Yeah, exactly
Okay,
the same.
The
yeah.
same,
Yeah.
just a bit higher.
It's even A and B. As if you will see tomorrow, you have like A and B, and we even want to keep the signalétic. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a small question. How was the cooperation with the Genossenschaft? Was it easy? Because a lot of people are discussing about the project. Everyone has special opinion about it. So how does it work? You only have to agree with the chairman of the Genossenschaft, or you have to fulfill all the requirements from everybody?
Yeah. It's a very good question, because it's actually a topic. No, if you work with so many people, then it can be chaotic. But in the Genossenschaft, organize it very, very well, and for us it was very, very nice and very good working. It was just very well organized, I have to say. The themes were just like clear before, and it was also like a frame. You know, the future resident, they couldn't like said, okay, I want a bigger apartment or I want whatever. It was just, okay, we plan it like this, and now we go like in some details or in some stuff, like how do we want to use the common spaces, for example. This was a very important question. No, we had common spaces, but what do they want for common spaces? Like topics like this. So we discussed things, which really worked, and like not like too much details in the architecture or things we just can't develop. Yeah. So, but it was very good.
We are very lucky in that we have experts for almost everything within the cooperative, and we made different groups. So we have like one group, it's called Arbeitsgruppe Planen und Bauen, and they are like, I don't know, 4 or 5 people, I don't know, but they are the people who kind of not supervise, who discuss your work and are in contact with you, and not every person of the 400 members can call the architects and say something, because that would be just chaotic.
And the people from the Genossenschaft, they're almost all architects or urban designers, so they know how it works. So this helps a lot, of course.
Can be also difficult, no? Can be difficult sometimes. Too many people.
It was it was really good working. We have we've 2 years now working together, and it's very nice, I have to say. Yeah.
Everybody is architect of your Genossenschaft? No,
not everybody.
But a lot of people in the main organizational
team, chairwoman. They are like the foundation, the foundators of the idea, like the nucleus. They were all like, almost, not all. Dorothea.
How is the financing working?
We are getting there. Now we have, like, the house is two-thirds of the house are occupied by now, and everybody who will move in, they have to buy shares of like the percentage of their square meters. They have to, like, 600 euros per square meters they have to put into the Genossenschaft. So all the people who know by now that they move in, they have paid their shares, and our goal is to, by the end of the year, have like 100% of the people who are moving in, so we can generate the money, because of course we need this money as our like 20% money we have to rise ourselves in order to get like a credit from the bank. And it's not that easy for some people, but yeah, we're working on it.
Are there any historical examples, maybe from way back, which you took as presidents, or what I find so fascinating is that it sounds like you work through the problems as they come, and you find solutions which are specific for this. But did you also take some examples of historical or from other countries which you factored in?
Yes, a lot of examples of transferring buildings, like existing buildings, to something new. Yeah, of course, we looked up everything, and we found some parking garage. Not a lot, but there are some. In Berlin, for example, there's the Kant garage. You can look it up, Kant garage, which is very nice, which is even older. It's like from the 30s, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, there are a lot of examples. Of course, there are a lot of examples. Yeah, but it's like, if you work with the existent, you have to have this attitude. Okay, let's see what's in there, and it's like a living organism. No, a building. You have to, adapt to what the building is giving you. It's always like this. Even if there are always surprises. Yeah. But good surprises also.
I was imagining when you were presenting it, how, if I would like to live there, or how would it work? And my question is, so I was thinking, and then I was saying, I don't want to have the feeling maybe it's a bit critical what I'm saying, but I don't want to be like in a zoo, to be too exotic in this place, because you're saying it's a very difficult quarter. So it will take, I don't know, nobody knows how many years that the surrounding will change as well, or never at all. Like Christiansen in Denmark, for example, it gets stays a nucleus for itself and a closed shop, kind of. Do you have in your community thoughts about already now to put some satellites out in the neighborhood, like, I don't know, a bakery or a handcraft thing or another co-working space, so that you get into really contact to the neighborhood? Otherwise, I can imagine you have the ground floor always as a common space, so there are some events, but it's more, I'm critical, but more like a zoo. Let's go and visit Gröninger Hof for the people who live somewhere else, and then they go back to their home and don't stay in the town.
It's a very good question, actually, and we are working with that, because we also do not want that to happen. We don't want like to be a closed shop. What we do is we have this ground floor and first floor where we have commercial spaces, and we are now going into the neighborhood and inviting people to a kind of round table to talk about what this neighborhood needs. And we very much hope that some people who have like office spaces or a shop or something in the neighborhood, they will kind of move in with us and be working there. So we have like kind of mixture. We also hope that this can trigger a wider development, that maybe people think we need some kinds of shops or co-working or something, and if we do not find a place in this building, maybe let's find another place in the neighborhood. We really hope that we will grow from this space to a wider circle. And now I forgot the third thing I wanted to say, but yeah, well, we work to connect the communities, but if this works, we will first know, well, not even when people move in, like in a couple of years, when we see how things turn out finally.
I sort of had the opposite question, because I can imagine with all the publicity you got in the newspapers, for example, that many people would apply and ask for a place in those for those apartments or for the system, that perhaps you have more people now interested in trying to get a new project, or is it more difficult to get people to really finally join?
Oh, it kind of comes in waves. When we get an article in the press and people come to us and say they want to move in. And at first it was very easy, like the first people who came wanted to move in, they could. And now it's a bit more difficult, because we have a lot of different spaces, like single person spaces or family spaces in the cluster apartments. And we have an agreement with the city of Hamburg that we will have 4 levels of rent according to how much people earn. So if now somebody comes and moves in, we have to kind of puzzle together their needs and their income to our to our overall matrix. So it can be a bit difficult, but of course we hope that maybe those people who do not get to move in here, they get together and say, okay, let's do something else at another place. We always try to kind of be an example and say, okay, if we can do this, other people can too.
I want to also give you a word of encouragement, because I think that once the project is actually up and running, it will have a different impact than it will have on paper.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of things like Highline in New York. Suddenly everybody understood how that could be interesting to have something similar for their city. But I'm also speaking of this house here. Once the white paint was on and we opened the doors, suddenly people had a completely different perception of it, and it became something they could compare to their own situation, and the dynamics started to shift. So I'm optimistic for that stage for your work.
It's totally interesting how how did you deal with the existing structure and how you develop the different levels and so on. But please go back to the facade. And
to
one
the facade.
question is, it's one question because I'm a very in Germany we say spießig, a classical Hamburgian architect. I run my office in the neighborhood, and I think you were very precise in dealing with this existing structure. But it's a question you can answer. How do you deal with a site, with a genius loci, in dealing of the facade, the materials of the facade, the color of the facade? Is this specific for this situation?
It's very complicated to be specific for this situation because the situation is so dispatched. You have so many different things. Yeah, because we walked around Hamburg, like we had like this Spaziergang, and we saw this green in a lot of places, and so it was the idea to take this color. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, we thought also about a ceramic facade, but it's too expensive.
And this vertical structure is a reminder to the old cladding of the garage. No?
Maybe it is like a hint. Yes.
Was there something about the weight the foundation can take?
Yeah. There are like the structures calculated, so we are not allowed to do more weight in the foundation that is calculated now. So we had to be light. Yeah, it's okay. We will get it, but not that easy. Yeah.
One more question.
Yeah, but the problem with the salt is very interesting. Would you say that this would be true for all the garage structures? So that's basically any garage that is built and the concrete is not protected would not be able.
Yeah, it's a problem. Actually, it's a problem for streets. Also, in Germany, we have a big problem with infrastructure from the 1960s. Exactly the same problem. What is important is to pflegen, to take care, to maintain, to take care of your building. Nowadays, when you build a parking garage, you have this protection, and you see it's like going up the wall, so it's like nothing can come into the concrete. So if you build it like this, there's no problem. It's just that this garage was built, and then maybe they made some maintenance in the beginning, and then in the 80s, 90s, it was just like going on like this, and then it's a lot of money also to maintain this, and sometimes it's not done because it costs money, and then it's actually a problem. We think we should take more care about our buildings. It's otherwise we can't reuse them. So it's also a message from this project. We really need to take care of what we build. It's not possible that we build something and 30 years later we just throw it away, like a t-shirt from H&M. So it doesn't work like this anymore. We have to rethink it, and it's very important, taking care of what we build and build it in a way that it can survive more than 30 years. Yeah.
Is there a possibility to separate the materials of the building in future ways? To think of recycling?
Yes, we try, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, it's also in the mind.
Yeah, but there's so much chloride in the concrete that even the recycling firms, they are not very happy with this. They will take it, but it's not, it's a problem because it's really not in a good shape.
Which material do you use for isolation?
Wool, rock wool, also ISO.
And do you connect them directly
Oh, in the new building. Okay.
No, it's separated. It is separated. Yes, it is separated. And the wood, also timber, also theoretically, no? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
About the ceiling of the ground floor, if you keep the existing thing, and if the concrete is not strong enough, how did you strengthen it, thinking that all this mass is going to be put on the old ground floor ceiling? Or do you just keep the floor?
Yeah.
Here.
No, we actually, what is in the ground is okay. It doesn't have any cloud problems. So, was that your question? Oh no.
Die Decke über dem EG, wird die abgerissen?
No. So no, it's new. No, no, unfortunately, no. No. No, this is also this is old. No, all the foundations and the basement, where we will also have some 10 places, 10 from 550 to 10, and this is new actually. Yeah, this is new and this is new. It wasn't possible. No, yeah, it wasn't possible to keep it.
The new staircases, they are really new, and
Yeah.
these are concrete staircases.
Yes, of course, because of
the
fire
heating.
protection.
Okay, there was no way to connect them outside with the walkways
No.
to keep it in another way.
We have big issues with fire protection in this house. We had really a lot of issues, and we had a lot of talks with the building Behörden, authorities, the building authorities in Hamburg, because we are very high, and so we are a timber construction. So this is still quite new in Germany.
Does it run now?
Yeah, hopefully. No.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for
You're very welcome.
everything you prepared for us, also for taking the time to take all the questions. And we are keeping our fingers crossed and are looking very much forward to come to the ground floor in a short period of time when it opens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.